Welcome to Daycare Chronicles 101, and I am your host, Miss Tanya. Not at all whatsoever. I ain't got time for that. Welcome to Daycare Chronicles 101, and I am your host, Miss Tanya, and my special guest today is Miss Medina Muhammad, known as the Science Teacher Mom. Okay, Medina, how are you? Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me onto your podcast. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you here because being a family daycare provider, a lot of us aren't too familiar with all of this area right here. And STEM is just something that is just growing. And so I really am just so excited to have you here this morning. Miss Medina is also known as the Science Teacher Mom. She is a high school science teacher, a mom, a wife, and a new small business owner of Science Teacher Mom LLC, which is a science curriculum educational company that provides homeschooling parents and science teachers with hands-on science activities to inspire and engage their students in science. Medina, what got you onto this path?
So it's a long story, short story. But for when I was traveling, when I was in college, I was offered actually like some sort of summer internship. And we went to summer science camps in Senegal and Tanzania, and we were able to teach young girls about hands-on science because there is a huge void about having young girls, Black children in the STEM field. When I went overseas and I saw the faces of these children who are now doing hands-on science using everyday materials, I was like, I want to do this. I didn't know what exactly it was, like, how do I get here? I know you have to be a teacher, but I want to do this. So from there, I knew I wanted to teach science. So I ended up I got my degree in biology, I got a minor in education, and I taught science in 9th and 10th graders, high schoolers, in the public school system. When schools closed last year in March, because due to the pandemic, I was just teaching my sons what I knew best, which was science. So we were home. I was like, I need something to do with these guys. And my fallback is like, all right, I have this stuff at home. I know science. Let's teach science. So when I started teaching science at home and I would take a couple pictures, there was a lot of parents and teachers who was like, hey, can you share? What are you doing today? I need something to do with my children as well. So I just continued to share on my Instagram what I was doing with my children. And from there, it got more and more traction.
That is where I saw all of your posts and everything was on Instagram. So I was just like, wow, this is just amazing. And the fact that how old are your children again?
They're 2 and 4 now. Yes.
Yeah. And so to see them, doing these activities with you is just amazing. And they are very creative and very, intuitive about things. So I'm just like, oh, this is just this. I mean, that's the age that we care for in family daycare. Yeah. So I am so inspired by what you are doing and the fact that you've made this into a whole company.
Right.
A whole company. I am just like during COVID, I don't know, were you doing the remote learning with your high school students?
Yes. So when schools closed, I was remote learning 100% from home. And so that's why I was spending more time at home with my sons. And I had accidentally, it was like a gift. I was sending gifts to my niece and nephews. It was just a box of something for Earth Day. And I was like, I was doing science with my children. I'm like, here, when you buy things in sets, it comes in sets of 10 or 12. So I was buying it for my sons. And I'm like, all right, I have these extras. I'm going to send it to my nieces and nephews. So I made them little boxes. I shipped it out to them and I had taken a picture. And then I had parents emailing me and texting me on Instagram asking, do you have any more? How can I get one? And I was like, I don't have any more. These were just gifts, but let me see what I can do. And then so from there, it was around Ramadan, because Ramadan was in April of last year.
Yes.
And I was like, these will be just my, some Eid gifts. If they just pay for shipping, I'll send it to them for free. So I started sending them out for free to parents. They just paid for shipping because they really needed something to do with their children. So I had made the lesson, I put the materials inside, and that was technically the first box that I had shipped out. After that, people wanted more, parents wanted more. And so so I was like, I don't know, let me think. I didn't have an idea. I was like, oh, okay, let me come up with something. What am I going to do with my son? So I've been using them as a litmus test to create the boxes and create the experiences for other children. I'm like, if my sons love it, I hope your children love it. That's really all I can go from at that point. And so my children, we would do the activity, the science, and parents would be like, hey, we want to do that too. Then we would create the experience in the box, and then we would be able to ship them out to parents. And as we got bigger and bigger, there were schools, we got to like about August, and there were schools who were asking like, hey, how can we get your product in our school or in our classroom? And I was like, oh, wait, I don't know. Hold on. I wasn't ready yet.
That's amazing.
And so I had to talk with my husband. I was like, all right, are we going to go in on this? Like, are we in this? Or, was this like a hobby for the summer? Because I'm going to go back to work in, summertime. Then we go back to work in September. Are we in it? And so we were like, all right, we're going to do this. They need it. The students need it. The parents and the teachers need it. So let's do this. And so we had the educational subscription box that targeted mostly like the elementary school, because I found that in elementary school, they don't really focus a lot on science or any of the STEM as much, because the focus is on reading and math. And with teachers who are teach elementary school, it's tough to teach 5, 6 different subjects and be, great at all of it. As a high school teacher, I teach just science. So I can focus on my content and get really good on my content and teach the same thing over and over again and then tweak it. Versus if you're teaching 5 different things, the most important, you need to get your students to read, and you need to get your students to do math for them to move on. And so I can see where they need the help with is getting their students into the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And so if you have a teacher, I teach science, I can do it. I can do it almost in my sleep. I'm almost like their lab teacher, where I'm coming, here's the lessons, here's the materials. There's almost no excuse why we can't get our children exposed to these sciences, because they need this foundation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this is just amazing. I mean, I am just in awe over here, because you have created a whole company during COVID. I see here that you have summer camp in a box, weather science pack restock. You were featured in the Liberty Science Center. They featured you. NBC featured you on George to the Rescue. I mean, you are out here doing it. You have a butterfly life cycle science pack, a human body science pack. And let me tell you, I am definitely going to have to jump on this with you, because like you said, you can't teach everything. And even in family daycare, I have a well-rounded program, but this is something that I need help with. And so I'm looking here like, okay, what do you have for 1 to 3 year olds? Like, okay, absolutely.
Right. And for that age group, as you said, that age group is one thing that we're working on this summer, because as I was taking inventory with the parents, a lot of them have the younger children. And that's the ones that we like to target, because I have the younger children. So for this coming school year, we're going to be working on our toddlers, because that's my age group with my sons is 2 and 4, and to make sure that we're able to help the parents who are starting their child at, whether it's 2 or at 4 or 5, whatever age, you have the materials, the tools, and the mindset to be able to succeed in teaching your child, because it's really first a mindset shift.
Well,
and then it's going into saying that my child can learn. And then going into here is higher science, because they can learn the higher science. It's really just building that foundation young and then building from there. So saying that they can't learn chemistry, they can absolutely learn chemistry. We talk about it first. We put it in their language. We show them the cool parts of it, and then we give them the vocabulary. Because once children have the vocabulary to explain what they're looking at, then they can kind of explain it back to you. Then they're learning, then you can kind of see how they're learning. So we just got to give them the tools to be successful.
I love it.
And that's really where I want to be able to help the parents and the teachers, because I can't teach all children. But if I can teach some parents and teachers, they can teach the children, and then the children can go ahead and keep going, So that's really what our goal is, hopefully going into next school year.
Well, I love all of that. And I am looking right now on Teachers Pay Teachers. And any of us that work with children, we know about Teachers Pay Teachers. And you have all types of things on Teachers Pay Teachers. I am like, wow. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You are amazing. You are amazing. I am looking at this. I mean, the downloads here, the free download here, cells and living things, learning target, student reflection sheet. Oh yeah. I am so happy to have you on here. And I am definitely going to share you with all of my daycare provider friends and everyone that I know, because you are just amazing. I mean, you are putting in the work. So you're blessed because you're putting in the work. And I really love what you just said about making sure that you are going to create something for the toddlers or whatnot, because that is pretty much, our ages in family daycare. And then even in the centers as well, like the public school system.
Right. Sorry.
The public school system is not like it used to be. And my husband is a high school teacher, so I definitely know firsthand about that as well. So I applaud you. I thank you so much for coming onto the podcast, for sharing. And I am just looking forward to all things Science Teacher Mom. Let me tell you.
Thank you.
You
And
have
for
really,
Sister Tanya, it's all you. I remember when I had met you in LA and you were teaching my niece, and I was like, how do you do this? And I had reached out to you and you said they can learn anything. You just got to make it relevant to them when you go to the grocery store. And that helped me when I was teaching my son. Oh. And I've taken that all the way through. Like, they can learn at young age. I was a new mom and I was like, I don't know how to teach my son. And you said they can learn. And I was like, okay. She said we can do it. And from there, I took that still in my mantra that they can learn even, it doesn't matter what age. We just have to provide those tools for them to do so. So thank you, Sister Tanya. It was those words that kept me going. Like, they can do it. They can do it. We just got to figure out how they can do it.
Absolutely. You look at the God factor in the children. And I guess being a grandparent now, I definitely look at things differently. You're more patient. You're more understanding. You've made your mistakes with your own children. So you're not going to do that with your grandchildren. And you just let them be, and you just watch them and see what they gravitate to. And, you just never know who's going to be that scientist,
Right.
Who's going to be that doctor, who's going to be that engineer. You just never know. Right. And so I thank you so much for allowing me some of your time this morning. I appreciate you. And I never say goodbye. I always say until we speak again.
Yes,
thank you so much, Medina.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited you all to have had Miss Medina on, because she's just amazing. She is just amazing. And I feel like we need more of that in our facilities as daycare providers, as childcare center owners. We need to bring more of that. Of course, we do the sensory, and all those things. And I'm sure that we all do some science. But what a great thing to be able to order this in a box and have it delivered to you, and here you are. I mean, how great is that? And not only that, we can share her with our parents. And then the parents can purchase things for at home with the children as well. Instead of being on that tablet, instead of being on that phone the whole time, the parents can definitely do some things with their children at home and learn some things as well. Because while we're teaching them, we're learning too. So I just thank her so much for coming onto the podcast and sharing herself with us, because she is amazing. You can follow her on her IG page, The Science Teacher Mom. You can follow her there. And there's links in her bio to where you can click on and go to Teachers Pay Teachers. You can order her boxes, her science boxes or whatnot. She's just amazing. And you see, she was just as sweet as pie, just as sweet as pie. I am just so thankful for that. The next thing that I wanted to discuss on the podcast today is about providers who feel like they have to stay open and never take off any days. And that's just unrealistic. You need to take some time off for yourself. You need to rejuvenate yourself. You need to be in a good space. If you're just working all the time and never taking time for yourself, it's possible that you may get what we call burnout. And no one wants to be in that place. You get moody, you get irritable, you're fussing, you're easily agitated. And even though you may not realize it, those may be emotions and actions that are taken out on the children. And so you have to find time for yourself. Nobody can be open all the time. I take 4 weeks vacation a year. And I've been doing it a while. However, I know that I need that for my mental health, for my physical health, for my emotional health. And your staff needs a break too. No one can just work all the time. You have to show appreciation to your staff. You have to give them days off. The daycare in California, if the provider is not in the home 90% of the time each day, then daycare is to close. So that is what needs to happen. You cannot just leave your daycare open with your assistants. That is breaking the law in the state of California. You cannot do that. Let your staff have a vacation as well. Take care of yourself. And if you need to go to the doctor, if you need to go to the dentist, if there are some things that you need to do for yourself, then there may be days when you may have to close unexpectedly. Things do happen sometimes. There may be times when, say, the doctor says, well, I need to see you in 2 weeks. You need to make that happen. Either make it early in the morning or late in the afternoon to where the children can come in a little later or they can leave a little earlier. But you must take care of you. This is family daycare. So it's all about being a part of the family. And trust me, your clients will respect you and they will understand because they want you to be healthy so that you can be there for them and to care for their children. But you must know that you need to take time off. You must do that for yourself. Meditation is good, and let me say this too. On the weekends, we have the weekends off. Yes, we do. However, what are we doing on the weekends? Shopping for daycare, preparing for the next week. So you may go to the hair salon or, to the nail salon or whatnot. You may be able to go out and have dinner or whatnot. Most of our time on the weekends is spent preparing for our work week with the children. So that is not a weekend off. That is not a weekend off because it's always something that has to be done for the daycare or for the child care center. Make time for yourself. This year, when I was doing my vacation schedule, I looked at each month. So each month that had 5 weeks in it, I took a Friday off. That's a day for me. On top of my 4 weeks vacation. You can do it. You can make it happen. You do not want to get burnout. There's a provider, Miss Suzette Salmon. Her book is on Amazon. Preventing Daycare Burnout. Go purchase her book. She is amazing. She is a provider. And her book is just so inspiring, so honest, so truthful. I love her program. It's Little Baby Academy on IG. She has a website as well. Go check her out. She has a nature play-based facility, and she is awesome. Awesome. And I mean awesome. I want you all to take care of yourself emotionally, mentally, and physically. I want you to be here to be around for your family and for your daycare family as well. Find something that makes you happy. If it's just going to walk around Walmart or going to walk around Target or just going to the beach or just going on a hike, or maybe you like gardening, maybe you like riding bikes. Find something that you like and do it. Find something that makes you happy outside of being the amazing provider that you are, because you are worthy. So every podcast, I always do a healthy snack tip. And this one is no different. So this one is making a veggie parfait. Yeah, I said veggie. Take your carrots, take your celery, take your bell peppers. Red bell peppers are sweet. Yellow and orange bell peppers, they're pretty sweet. Take those. You can put some yogurt down and let the children just dip them in the yogurt, or you can layer it with your veggies on the bottom, then a little yogurt, a little more veggies, a little more yogurt on top, and let the children just explore and have a good time with that. We have to teach our children to eat healthier. And you won't know until you try it. And if they don't like that, you may want to add a little bit of honey in there just to sweeten the yogurt. I'm not talking about that yogurt that's full of sugar. I'm talking about some plain Fage yogurt. Or you can even use cottage cheese. You never know. And you can always sweeten it with some honey if they're over 1. If they're under 1, you don't give them no honey. Okay? We know that as providers. Being a provider is so rewarding. And our parents show us gratitude. They show us love for the most part. And they want us to be around and care for their children. So don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm going to have to close a little early next week on Thursday because I have a doctor's appointment. Or I need to go, to the dentist, whatever it may be. Let your clients know. And they will respect you and understand that, opposed to you just saying, I'm closing early next week. And they're like, well, why? And you don't have to tell them. But if you have a doctor's appointment, they'll be more understanding and more sympathetic to it because they want you to be healthy. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. Medina, the science teacher mom, is so amazing. And the conversation, she's like jogged my memory that I had with her when I was caring for her niece, who we just love, Naveen. And she has amazing parents too. Naveen and Medina have amazing parents. So I miss Tanya. I thank you so much. And I pray that you have learned something. I want you to go to her bio, Science Teacher Mom on IG, and click those links in there and purchase some things. And I'm excited to receive what she is working on now, because I am going to be a consumer of the Science Teacher Mom. I'm Miss Tanya. And remember, if you don't want to be a chronicle, don't do it.